In order to understand the full context of this video, it's very important you go back and watch the last 2 videos in this 3-parter Usurp the Fire Ending Quest for Knowledge. In the last part, we mostly covered Anri of Astora's questline A. We completely covered Horus and got a good understanding of their motivation for their journey. We also went into great detail about Aldrich, but a few little details still remain, such as the mysterious Yuria and her homeland of Lundor and Anri's questline B. After that, we'll go into full detail about the Usurpation of Fire Ending and explain all the endings to make more sense of this one. Then we'll see how it connects to the first game. Oh, and yes, there will be spoilers. Remember when I said that you never see Anri again? Upon continuing Anri's happy ending quest, I was quickly reminded that there are no happy endings in Dark Souls. This is actually really easy to miss unless you're quite the explorer. You actually do see Anri again after defeating Aldrich, but it's not this great big reunion you were up all night fantasizing about. When seeing Anri off in the distance, you'd likely be ecstatic at first, ready to sit down with some Estus soup and catch up on all the crazy shit you've all been through. Rather, Anri is remarkably hollow, succumbing to the same fate as Horus. I was just trying to give you all hope, but now that's dashed. I guess people don't want to hope anymore. So now I'm renaming this quest from Anri's happy ending to Anri's terrible hollow madness sadness ending, because there's no happiness in being a mindless zombie. The Dark Sign mentions that carriers of the Dark Sign, which all unkindled have, causes one to lose their minds after countless deaths, and wander from their homelands, which may be why if you told Anri about Horus, he or she will be at the shrine made out for him in the Cave of Smoldering Lake. And it's really sad. If there is some cognitive function in that mind of Anri's, you can assume he or she is longingly waiting for Horus to return. Now if you didn't tell Anri about Horus, he or she will be spacing out at some tombstones leading to the Cathedral of the Deep, perhaps lamenting the children he or she knew. Anri doesn't even speak or recognize you. He or she just starts lashing out at you with a broken sword that does more damage than you think. Whoa, hey! Come on, Anri, we could talk about this. Oh, come on, please, stop chasing me. Stop chasing me! I don't get it. Hollows are too far gone to heal with Estus, but they're perfectly capable of using weapon buffs. See? That's what you get. No one crosses me. This is all too similar to what happens when you revisit the Knight Oscar in the first game. Since we're on the topic of there being no happy endings in Dark Souls, let's have a little hope for some good. I mean, there is a wedding. Now let's reverse time, head back to the Church of Yorshka, leave the pilgrim alive, and just, hope for the best. See how it all goes. You can return to the Firelink Shrine and speak with Yuria for some good tidings.
Ah, greetings, our lord and liege. Good tidings. Thy spouse is ready. The time is ripe to greet him. The boy awaits thee in the hidden dark moon chamber of Anor Londo.
And if Anri is a female,
the time is ripe to greet her. The girl awaits thee in the hidden dark moon chamber of Anor Londo, so thou mayst a true monarch become.
The wedding date is now set in stone and marriage to Anri is imminent. This cannot possibly lead to an unhappy ending. No way! Anri is very charming and is developed in such a way that you want to like him or her. Both male and female variations are noble blue sentinels from the respected and ancient land of Astora, strong, caring, and share a lot in common with you. In fact, it is written so that it seems fate plays a role in it as well. You both are taking the same paths, bump into each other frequently, and help each other out on many occasions. If I didn't know any better, I'd think From Software was trying to get us to really like Anri. But not just like, I mean fall for Anri. An Anri waifu or husbando? Oh, let me ask, did it work for you? Once you reach Anor Londo, the illusory statue of Gwyn will no longer be present. You'll speak to the pilgrim at the entrance of the Dark Moon Tomb, where you initially encountered Dark Sun Gwendolyn in the first game. All matter of dialogue is very cryptic.
Welcome, our gracious lord. Your spouse awaits you. You are very near. Please, take the sword of avowal. May you be the truest lord of Londor yet.
You'll get the Sword of Avowal, describing that the rite of wedlock will presage, and that word is generally used in the context of something foreboding, presage a true hollow lord. This isn't sounding very good.
Your spouse awaits you. You are very near. May you be the truest Lord of Londor yet.
Upon entering the tomb, excited for an epic wedding between two like-minded individuals in the proceeding grandeur honeymoon in the Bahamas, you'll notice a very ominous atmosphere. Further in, and you'll find Anri has been slain, helmet removed, and face covered with leaves all over the place. The game builds you up to like Anri a lot, then kills him, her, or turns him or her mad? Isn't that great? And what the hell is this? This is no wedding at all. Looks more like a funeral to me. Instead of what you'd expect from a traditional wedding, instead you lovingly press that sword deep into Anri's brain, likely not even knowing what it is you're doing. I know Anri's an undead, but shoving a stake into his or her brain would kill Anri for good, right? I still don't know how this all works. You know, I'm still learning. Regardless, from this
fatality,
you gain 3 more dark sigils from his or her sacrifice, presumably harnessing Anri's in order to grow more as a hollow, making it clear that the more dark sigils you have, the more powerful as a hollow, assuming you don't die too much and turn mad. You have proven yourself worthy by getting this far, defeating all the lords that oppose their rightful thrones, despite the accursed hollowing, and have proven you are apt and fully willing to blindly partake in this now reinvigorated covenant or cult of some sort, nearing fruition of whatever it is. This rather non-traditional marriage here has more meaning than you may think. You clearly discover you are not marrying Anri at all, but instead you are literally being married to Anri. The definition of when 2 objects become absorbed into one, hence why you only gain his or her remaining dark sigils out of the ceremony and nothing other than Yuria's exaltation. You done gone and made her proud. Even the sword of Avowal is shaped like that of the letter O. Avowal, a circular pattern representing death, similar to the dark sign or dark sigils. Take the moon, for example. The shape itself is circular, but the word itself has 2 O's in it. The moon has been scientifically proven to affect the tides, creating tsunamis, which kill many people. And it has been conspired that dwelling inside its hollow caverns are evil reptilian beings conspiring to wipe out humanity and dominate the earth. When you leave the tomb, you will find the pilgrim that was helping Anri has passed away during the ceremony. Jeez, only one person attends my marriage, couldn't even have the decency to watch, and dies in the middle of it. If you aggro Yuria anytime up until the marriage, she will say,
"Where are thy wits? Cease this at once." Yule knows not of thy folly. A hollow need not be mad. No one so weak shall ever rule us.
Wow, she makes you feel pretty awful and brushes you off as a mad hollow. But as the Purging Stone states, hollows are known to turn on their allies, and we have seen this a few times in this quest with Horus and Anri, so this is something she should be used to by now. If you die, she gets cut off, though I'm sure it was something very degrading.
Peasant, at least thy cadaver shall a little kindle.
The subtitles give it away though. If you kill her, she makes a breakthrough exposition. One name that blows open her entire plot.
Garth, I have failed thee.
Koth, the Primordial Serpent. If you have followed the story of Dark Souls 1, you'll know exactly whose legacy she aims to carry and what her true intentions are. Instead of making her hostile or killing her, talk to Yuria and she will delve a little deeper into her, how should I put it, revolutionary intentions.
Our lord and rightful liege. Speak freely, thy lordship. I am at thy beck and call. I presume thy holy vows are sworn? Wonderful. Now thou art the true and deserving Lord of Hallows. With the spouse, the strength to claim the fire is thine. Thy lordship, I prithee wrest the fire from its mantle. I, Yuria, and all Londor embrace thy impending lordship. I prithee, play the usurper. When the moment cometh to link the fire, wrest it from its mantle. The Age of Fire was founded by the old gods, sustained by the linking of the fire. But the gods are no more, and the all-powerful fire deserveth a new heir. Our Lord of Hallows, it shall be, who weareth the true face of mankind. Be safe, our lord and liege. I prithee wrest the flame from its mantle.
She wishes for you to embody the flame, to stop this continuous cycle of gods and heirs in order to place a true hollow human lord on the throne to embrace the coming of an Age of Hallows. Just like in the first Dark Souls with Ka, the Primordial Serpent, Yuria wants to end the Age of Fire and bring about the Age of Dark to embrace the accursed undead and banish all the heavenly lords' reign. But it's not really an Age of Dark because you're embodying the flame, rather than plain snuffing it out like Smokey the Bear taught us to do.
We know we can count on you to do what Sophie says.
So to not get confused, we'll call this the Age of Hallows. Her attire says that she is the middle child of 3 sisters, one of 3 sisters being Lillian. Those 3 sisters were founders of the Sable Church of Lundor. Now, if you try to kill Yuria after the marriage, she will not aggro or fight back.
Your Lordship, what is the matter? Please, stop.
Upon killing her, she says,
Usurper, I beseech thee, claim the fire.
her ashes description suggests that her 2 sisters could take over for her to make certain Koth claims the flame for the sake of all Hallows, ending the Age of Gods. When you get to the end of the game and prepare to defeat the Soul of Cinder protecting the flame, you'll see you can summon Yuria and her other Lundor friend for help. While her friend isn't much help at all, she certainly is. After you beat the Soul of Cinder and touch the bonfire, this is the ending you'll get. As you can see, no Primordial Serpents are present this time around, but instead you see Yuria's 2 sisters, Lillian and Name Unknown. And what's this? Could this be Anri bowing to you? Hard to say, and it's kinda blurry. Hallows can't die, but I thought a stake to the brain would finish him or her off for good. It works in the dead walking. You also see what could very well be a bunch of Hallows, and they probably are.
Gracious Lord, make Lundor whole.
As we know, humans are the descendants of the so-called pygmies. In case you didn't know, these little-known entities, only mentioned once in the intro cinematic of the first game, rose from the dark and found souls of lords within the flame.
Then from the dark they came and found the souls of lords within the flame.
By definition, the name pygmy means a race of short people. They are all essentially the ancestors of humankind. A furtive pygmy found the dark soul and divided it to give life to the human race.
And the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten.
Furtive is generally used for when someone is hiding in nervousness or from guilt. What guilt could that be? The only explanation is that they are all furtive, that these pygmies found the souls of lords within the flame and unleashed the gods in the preceding Age of Fire, leaving them powerless and subjugated.
Thus began the Age of Fire.
They were just born, so give them a break. Babies make mistakes too. Sadly, these guys have had a long time to think about it. Sided with the Primordial Serpents, who were also born from the dark, and when things fell through the first chance they had, resided in Lundor until Yuria and her 2 sisters could find a Hollow Lord. In short, no pun intended. Wait, actually, now that I think about it, yeah, pun intended. In short, the pygmies are trying to right their wrongs and redeem themselves by creating an age in which they were born out of. An age of humanity.
After the advent of fire, the ancient lords found the 3 souls, but your progenitor found a 4th, unique soul, the Dark Soul.
Which sounds good on the surface, but the accursed dark sign would remain, and the age would technically be preserving the undead. Zombies! Now, when taking a closer look at the pilgrims, you can see they are hiding their entire body, weighed down by baggage and shackles, symbolizing a deep burden. They're something almost furtive in nature, yet forced out of hiding to carry out their task. The task to manipulate some unknowing champion of Ash to become their redemption. What if these oddities are the original pygmies? That would explain their ripe old age, dress wear, and motivation. Another question I pose thee. What if the Dark Sigils are remnants of the original Dark Soul? These speculations, if true, could explain a lot. It could explain why they're dying off as the flame fades. It could explain why they have Dark Sigils. In the first game, you have two Primordial Serpents that are trying to tug you one way or the other, but there are many of these and they all side with Koth.
I am the Primordial Serpent, Darkstalker Koth. I am the Primordial Serpent, King Seeker Framt, close friend of the great Lord Gwyn. But the other serpent, Framt, lost his sense and befriended Lord Gwyn.
Framt, in complete betrayal, sided with Lord Gwyn and shows up at the Firelink Shrine to persuade you to link the flame and continue the current age, and is a giant ugly goofball.
No, I'm fine. Well and wide awake. Do not treat me like an old withering snake.
Meanwhile, Koth creepily pops up with his nightmare-inducing face in the scariest place possible,
I am your guardian.
yet manages to make a compelling argument not to, and to not trust Framt, but instead walk away. Koth really needs work on his presentation. Am I really supposed to trust a creepy human-faced snake that rises out of an abyss over one that cheerfully appears in a safe haven for me? I'm sure the locations in which they appear was no accident, as who you choose to believe is all dependent on the atmosphere.
I wish to elucidate your fate, and the very reason your kind have appeared. I can guide thee and illuminate the truth. The truth I shall share without sentiment. Chosen undead, your fate is to succeed the great Lord Gwyn, so that you may link the fire, cast away the dark, and undo the curse of the undead. Only I know the truth about your fate. You must destroy the fading Lord Gwyn, who has coddled fire and resisted nature, and become the fourth Lord, so that you may usher in an age of dark.
Framt makes no effort of explaining details and only tells you that your fate is to succeed Gwyn, while Koth elaborates in full detail, but I'm sure he's leaving out any undesirable information. Framt also says that linking the flame will undo the curse of the undead, but we now know that's untrue.
Your ancestor claimed the dark soul and waited for fire to subside, and soon the flames did fade, and only dark remained. Thus began the Age of Men, the Age of Dark. However, Lord Gwyn trembled at the dark, clinging to his Age of Fire and in dire fear of humans, and the Dark Lord who would one day be born amongst them. Lord Gwyn resisted the course of nature by sacrificing himself to link the fire and commanding his children to shepherd the humans. Gwyn has blurred your past to prevent the birth of the Dark Lord. I am the Primordial Serpent.
While it appears Koth is telling you the truth with his wealth of information, the fact is, there is no truth. There are just sides. It's just a choice of which side to side with. But that conflicting feeling brought about by these two serpents makes you feel like there is a right or wrong answer. But it's just a side. No right or wrong answer. We can assume when you walk away in the Age of Hallows Ending in the first game, you are doing the exact same thing in this game and consuming the flame to preserve humanity. But in reality, the undead, ending the Age of Fire and relinquishing the gods from their power over humans. In Dark Souls 3, we know through in-game evidence that the canonical ending was linking the first flame because, well, the flame is still burning, albeit dimly, and why would it still be burning if the flame was never lit in the first game? The Soul of Cinder boss fight has been expressed to be an accumulation of the old gods of Lordran who originally linked the flame in the first game.
Let her grant death. To the old gods of Lordran, deliverers of the first flame.
Why else during the Soul of Cinder boss fight would you get the eye-watering chords of weeping sadness from the battle with Lord Gwyn? Oh god. I can't take it. It's so beautiful and nostalgic. The Soul of the Lords implies that the flame has been lit ever since, and now the Soul of Cinder has vowed to protect that flame. If the Age of Dark really did happen, then the gods would have no power, yet there is evidence the gods do have at least some fading power as the flame itself fades. There is a mass tomb of firekeepers beneath the bell of the shrine. When a firekeeper has served her purpose, she dies. Though what purpose would that be? To lead a champion, to eventually rekindle the flame. Judging by how many dead firekeepers there are here, there must have been many other champions to come before you to keep that flame lit. That means the very firekeeper that serves you will also die once her duty is done, and her very replacement is Irina. If you complete her quest, she will become a firekeeper, and wait until you and your firekeeper's duties are complete, then take over the shrine to await new champions once the bell tolls again. It's a continuous cycle, unless one would choose to betray that cycle. The death of the firekeeper is expressed as true darkness. So wouldn't that mean snuffing out the flame and creating an age of darkness would be something close to the death of the world? Dark Souls 3 wouldn't possibly have so many direct connections to Lordran if that were true. Lothric is a place where all the lands of all the Lords of Cinder are converging together, temporarily, coming together around the first flame as it fades.
Where the transitory lands of the Lords of Cinder converge.
The world is closing in on becoming unformed once again, as the world was before light and dark, life and death, and heat and cold, and you know the rest. Until, bam, a champion or lord comes along to rekindle the flame, allowing the world to reset back to the way it was. No matter how much you want to confirm your bias, there hasn't been an Age of Dark, or Hallows. That means the flame has remained burning at varying degrees since your sacrifice in the first game, otherwise the Hallows, Pygmies, or Serpents would have already gotten their way.
This is unacceptable, impossible, unthinkable. Oh, enough with you.
There also seems to be this new theme. As we see time and time again, the flame can be swayed to reflect that of an age of your own choice, depending on how you sway the flame. This wasn't recognized in the first game because the world was still newly formed. As such, the only options people knew were light or dark. As an unkindled Lordseeker, you're expected to link the flame and continue the Age of Fire. But you can choose to betray that cycle and snuff out the fire to create an Age of Dark, which technically resets the world back to none. Nada. Null. You know? Resets it to await a new age to form. Aldrich wanted to create an Age of the Deep Sea. I don't know, perhaps he was a big Lovecraft fan? Maybe? Yuria, her church, and all the pilgrims of Lundor wanted an Age of Hallows, an age embracing accursed humanity. And here's another thing to think about. If the furtive pygmy didn't unleash the souls of lords to begin with, then humanity wouldn't have prevailed. Sure, they'd be uncursed, but they'd lack the magic and brawn to take on the eternal dragons. So yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed.
They did the right thing to begin with. You'd think they owe something to the gods, right? The Primordial Serpents also rose from the dark, but it is unknown if they are still around in the timeline of this game. The only appearance we see of them, presumably framed, is commemorated in statues throughout Lothric Castle. My guess is that they are all still alive and are in hiding, and From Software is saving their appearances for upcoming DLC. Perhaps we even get to fight one. Wouldn't that be cool? It'd probably head bash and gnaw you to death, or kill you with ugly. Maybe we'll get to learn more about the pilgrims and Lundor, I don't know. I'm not holding my breath, but in all honesty, and I'm sure I'm speaking for most of you too, would like to see Lundor as one of the next 2 expansions. Well, that's all, folks. Hopefully you gained a much better understanding of this game, just through the Usurp the Fire ending questline. Through all the varying branches, the dialogue, examination of the events and environments, and all my wrong and ridiculous information. Though what has gone unexplained so far will be explained in later videos, so be sure to subscribe and watch as I continue to unravel the mysterious within Dark Souls. If you really like my presentation, become a patron like these other amazing human beings here. They know what's up and help me out of recent computer issues financially that I would not have been able to resolve without them. I actually got a few new patrons such as Sandre and Charlie. Drekukan upped his pledge, thank you. Even Andreas has started pledging again. Welcome back. Be sure to check out my other videos on Soulsborne content and look forward to other great videos I have in store for you in the following weeks. You may also watch the full version of this questline, combining all 3 parts with some slight alterations and perfections. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope you found this quest for knowledge insightful and liberating. May the flames guide your way.